Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Supatease video, and I have been having an absolute blast experimenting with Balanced Druid in patch 9.2. In one of my most recent videos, you've seen that I've started to play Necrolord Balanced Druid, playing a Starfall Rot and Dot spec, and I have finally gotten the opportunity to combine its power with that of an Affliction Warlock to really put it to the test. How much pressure can this composition create? Is it going to be a return of this playstyle to the meta? So in this gauntlet of arena matches, we faced Rogue Mage, we faced Ret Warriors, we faced Jungle Cleaves, we faced basically everything that the current meta has to offer, and we were able to thwart away a significant portion of it, if not all of it, at some times. So in this video, I'm going to be covering what I am going to be doing in these given matches so that you can take that information for yourself and apply it to your own gameplay, or potentially pique your interest in this type of strategy, because it's a strategy that's kind of been obsolete probably since Legion was the last time that you could play this type of playstyle, where you focus on dotting multiple targets and trying to kill basically the entire enemy team simultaneously at the same time. So given that being our strategy, our main focus is going to make sure that we have Moonfire and Sunfire on every single target. Our then next priority is to have Adaptive Swarm on the primary focus target. And then after that, it is to have Starfall up as much as humanly possible. You want Starfall rolling so that it can spawn Starburst on the ground. You can pick that up and run it into your enemies, knocking them up, dealing significant damage, and generating astral power for more Starfalls and Star Surges in the future. And that's going to be the main goal of the composition. When you are not the target, your goal is to help your allies survive. This is going to be using Entangling Roots and Cyclone to prevent them from chasing down your allies, but you want to kind of hold off on Cyclone as much as possible because it's going to make your dots stop doing damage. At the start of the fight here against Ret Warrior, one of those meta compositions, I run right in to try and snare the enemies with Typhoon and try and prevent them from getting to my Warlock's Gateway, and we kind of have to figure out who are they going to go after. They've popped their Earth Elemental immediately, and it's got the Earthquake animation, which means that they're probably going to be going all in on a target, and with our Shaman in a Hammer of Justice and Wings rolling, we know the Shaman's the target. So I immediately moved to start healing. I'm going to activate Thorns on the Shaman, and I would rather focus on healing during this time so that our dots are still doing damage. I've got Thorns up to try and thwart the attack, and we can use the Gateway to kite, Starburst, knocking up the Ret and the Warrior right when the Shaman gates away. Buying even more time, the Shaman dispels Unstable Affliction and chunks himself down to 50% health. Warrior has to pop his Aegis Trinket, and the Warrior's going to be the primary target because the Warriors used their Trinket and die by the sword. So we're going to use Adaptive Swarm on the Warrior. They're going to be the most limited on defense, and we're going to need to start generating astral power with Wrath to get into Lunar Eclipse, as well as activate another Starfall. Surviving the Ret Paladin's Wings is first priority before you really want to start going for a counterattack. So I've not used my Celestial Alignment. I'm still holding on to this until that is over so that there's no huge threat, and also no recovery, because that will increase the Ret Paladin's healing output as well. Now we're going to bash the Warrior, we're going to Starfall, and we're going to pop our Celestial Alignment and go absolutely crazy with dots on the whole team. We want to make sure that we're trying to snipe Grounding Totems. Can be tough to see it through that many targets, but Grounding Totem is going to be a persistent effect that will stop our spells from hitting. We need to remove that as soon as possible, and then immediately go back into the fray. Fortunately, the Warrior was retreated into a good position to not take damage, so we had to go after the Ret, but the Ret still had defense to survive our Celestial Alignment, but Divine Shield is out of the way nonetheless, which means now the Warrior and the Ret Paladin will be vulnerable should they leave the defense of the pillar. And if they do not leave the defense of the pillar, then they're simply going to continue to take dot damage for free in the back line, while we can have control of the map, set up drinks, and regenerate mana. So having them choked out like this isn't always the end of the world, but you do need to be prepared because they are waiting for their powerful cooldowns that could absolutely KO your team, and it's in those moments of cooldowns that you will need the fastest response time. And once again, that's going to be your regrowths, that's going to be your kiting, like your Demonic Gateway. And here I'm just attacking a totem because it's in line of sight to proc my Eclipse. This is going to activate my 2-set bonus, summon in a Fury of Elune, and also buff my Starfall damage, which is a very important component. So I'm going to cycle in on the left side, keep my dots rolling, try and flank them out of the foxhole that they're in so my Warlock can dot them on the other side. And we kind of just focus on poking them down, slowly whittling them away. They decide to commit to me having overextended. I pre-Typhoon the Stormbolt. This forces Heroic Leap from the Warrior. Now with no Heroic Leap and no no freedom. I can use Gateway if I need to. I'm going to use Bark Skin when I'm stunned, Shadow Fury from my Warlock for assistance. And again, you don't really want to Cyclone unless you absolutely have to, because it's going to make your dots stop doing damage. So I choose not to. The enemies are running away. There's no real reason to. I'm going to jump on top of them, try and kill Grounding Totem, and try and flank them and get a little bit aggressive here now that their big assault is over, and we can maybe stand on top of them and experiment, because the stalemate of staying in the mid wasn't going well for us. So wait for their stun, wait for their commitment before pushing in. Here I tank the Capacitator Totem because I'm already on stun DR. This is going to carry the stun DR forward into the next Stormbolt. I'm sitting in bear form, getting ready just in case they're going to pop on me here. And I'm standing on the Demonic Gateway so I can use this if I need to escape. A very scary moment for Balance Druid in the game is the Sharpened Blade of an Arms Warrior, which reduces all healing by 50%, and the Avenging Wrath of the Ret Paladin. Here we've stunned the Warrior. We've got Starfall, dots on everything. Warriors at 1%, Dive of the Sword sacrifice. Their entire team is rotting down. Very important we killed his Healing Tide Totem, because that's going to be the area of effect healing that allows a Shaman to recover from all of our dots. So it can be difficult to kill. Saving Astral Power for it can be important. And their Shaman is desperately retreating away with Aura Mastery to try and heal up and restabilize. So we're going to knock the Shaman away. Here we see Sharpened Blade that is active on my frame. So this is where we want to use Demonic Gateway. And look how fast I died. Almost just 1 second of having Sharpened Blade on me, and my life flashed before my eyes. I'm going to heal myself up behind the pillar. They're going to swap back over to my Shaman. I tell my Shaman to not worry about me. I'm just going to heal myself up behind the pillar so they can worry about themselves getting attacked at that moment in time. But now we've got the enemy team out in the open. Shaman down at half mana. All of them fully dotted at half health. Perfect position for us to go absolutely crazy on damage. But they've also popped their Avenging Wrath. So this is going to be scary if we want to go into that cooldown without making a trade. I'm going to use Stampeding Roar, and my Shaman's going to use Gateway to kite the Avenging Wrath. And I'm going to tank the Ret Paladin in bear form for a moment. This team is using the new Aegis trinket, which is what the shield effect is currently on Ret Paladins. This trinket is becoming a lot more prominent. It's actually likely the most meta trinket that you can select. It's just going to absorb 50% of all magic damage for a huge value. And you can see that shield activated by my Shaman now as well. This is kind of the new tank trinket meta, unfortunately. I was not looking forward to any more tank trinkets in the game, but this is now looking like it could be the most predominant choice. So I do recommend picking it up from your PvP quest in Oribos in Zereth Mortis. But at this point, look at them. They're all at half health. They're all rotting down. My Warlock got a free casted row of dots. The enemy team is retreating for their lives around the corner. We want to push in, and we want to start picking up Starbursts, start running those in and knocking them up on the pillar. My Warlock's got them pincered on the left side. I'm at the right side. We have enough Astral Power for a Starfall. We've already forced Wall out from the Shaman, so we really just want to get on top of them here, get some extra crowd control, and activate our Eclipse as soon as possible. I'm going to tank them here, bash the Avenging Wrath proc because it almost globaled me there for a second. Ret Paladin bops himself out of the bash to run behind the pillar, which is fine. We're going to knock them off of the pillar, and this is why I like running in, and we knock them into a Starburst, which punts them all up into the air, and now they are just absolutely not having a good day at the office right now. Spirit Link Totem comes down, which is doing nothing when your entire team is all at the same health margins. We Shadow Fury the whole team. We activate our Lunar Eclipse. It's time to trinket, and at this point, we've actually made the Ret Warrior leave the game with a full hex on the Shaman. It would have otherwise been a triple kill. They're kind of removing the satisfaction from us of being able to secure that triple kill, because it is definitely a satisfying feeling to see the entire team dead at the same time, which you can achieve with this composition. I've been enjoying experimenting with Mage as well. I'm going to upload a video of that tomorrow, so if you'd like to see that. The Frost Mage Balance Druid is actually very powerful in this setup as well, but I've been having a good time with this. It's a nice break from the norm of kind of just setting up Star Surges with instant Solar Beam and then going AFK until the next time you can do that. I'm very bored of that repetitive cooldown gameplay. I really like this Starfall build. I've really wanted it to be meta throughout the whole expansion. This patch might be the most likely that it could become meta. So I'm going to really run with it. And if you'd like to watch that journey live, you can follow me on twitch.tv/Supatease. And if you'd like to stay up to date with patch changes and anything that's happening with the game and stay ahead of the competition, then make sure you hit the subscribe button here. But aside from that, thank you very much for watching the video. I will catch you in the next one.